皆さんおはようございます。スティーブです。東海岸の方に来ております。あんまり人がね見たことのないようなところまで、来ております。隣にいる方がこの倉庫のオーナーですね。これトッド・モリチさんという方でございますが、ご紹介したいと思います。Todd, very nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
I'd like to talk to you a little bit about yourself, what your background is with exotics, and what you do a little bit, if you can explain.
I buy and sell collectible Ferraris. I only buy the best of the best. I specialize in one-off prototypes.
And you've been doing this for a very long time. You have a background in racing as well, from what I understand, correct?
I have. I started racing in VSCCA back in 1979 with my dad. I was very young at the time, and it's a learning curve when you go from vintage cars to brand new cars or brand new cars to vintage cars.
You have one of the nicest collections that I have personally ever seen. I'm very, very impressed. I was hoping you could tell me a little bit more about these two cars that are sitting behind us.
Well, these are very special cars. This car here is a 1966 275 GTB, but it's an alloy body, factory born as a six-carb torque tube. And to a lot of people, they don't understand what that means, but a torque tube is they connect the engine to the transaxle, and it makes the car much more steady, it drives better, it handles better. It's a much firmer ride. They built 460 cars like this, but they only built 18 with an aluminum body, factory six-carb torque tube.
You have two of these, which is unbelievable in one place here. The difference between the two cars, if you can kind of tell me, they're both 1966s.
Both 1966s. They basically have the same exact options. They're both long-nose torque tube six carburetors. So the difference is when they first made these models in 1966, they had short noses. And what they discovered was at high speed, over 120 miles an hour, the car would get very light in the front. So what they did was, during the development stage of the early cars, they went from short noses to long noses. So they extended the nose to give the car more downforce in the front. And today, a lot of guys, six carburetor instead of three carbs on a 12-cylinder car, the six carburetors gave you better performance, and it sounds a whole lot better as well, because you have all of that intake noise in the car.
This is a true 6C.
They're both true six carburetors, yes.
How do they function? Do they work in a progressive manner when the cars...
They work all in unison. It's difficult to tune them. Once you get them tuned, though, they run incredible, and they sound much better.
You know, a lot of people, I think, buy or look at these cars and they sit, they don't drive them a lot. What's your thoughts on classic cars, classic Ferraris, classic exotics, and getting them out and driving? Is it something that's necessary, do you think, to do? I hear a lot of things, when you don't drive these cars, things start to go bad. Is that the case?
In many respects, yes. These cars need to be driven. If you let these cars sit, the gasoline evaporates and it leaves varnish in the carburetor. So you need to get them out and exercise them. You know, the suspension gets a little tight. So they need to be driven. I drive all of my cars.
ビデオに関してのお問い合わせはご覧のメールアドレスまで。チャンネル登録もよろしく